New Japan Pro Wrestling has announced the brackets for their annual single elimination tournament, the New Japan Cup. One notable omission from the brackets could use some explaining. Despite not holding a singles title in New Japan Pro Wrestling at the moment, Kenny Omega has not entered the New Japan Cup this year. He spoke with Tokyo Sports about his decision, telling reporters he has to deal with the rift in Bullet Club before he can focus on something like the New Japan Cup. We've run Omega's comments to the Japanese language media outlet through Google Translate. He said, "I do not want to disappoint the fans. I think there is a battle that I must focus first. I have to prepare to fight with my friends." So he is talking about the rift which exists in Bullet Club right now, which exists not only between Kenny Omega and Cody, but also now the Young Bucks and Golden Lovers. We saw on the final night of the Honor Rising event this weekend, the Young Bucks interrupted Omega and Ibushi's post-match celebration to let them know they're moving up to heavyweight and would, quote, see them around. Of course, just days after that comment was made, it has been announced that the Young Bucks will face the Golden Lovers at Strong Style Evolved on March 25th. So Omega continued, but the Google Translate starts to lose some of Omega's meaning here a little bit. He said, "We will put off the chant of the Throne Challenge, including IWGP Heavyweight Championship, and give priority to battle in the BC." So Throne Challenge is sometimes how Google Translate interprets someone saying they wish to challenge for a championship. So basically Omega is saying, I'm not worried about the New Japan Cup. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not dealing with going after a singles title, including the heavyweight title or his United States Championship, which he just lost to Jay White. He's not worrying about any of that. He's just worrying about what's going on in Bullet Club. So let's take a look at the 16 competitors who will be taking part in the New Japan Cup 2018. We start things off, the first two matches, which will air on March 9th, will be Michael Elgin versus Tomohiro Ishii in a power wrestler versus power wrestler match. Juice Robinson takes on Yujiro Takahashi. These two wrestlers, I believe, have more in common than they are willing to admit. Now, Hiroshi Tanahashi returns from injury to take part in the New Japan Cup, and he will take on Taichi, who has moved up to the heavyweight division recently. Tanahashi was forced to leave the New Beginning tour early after his injuries had built up to the point that he needed to be removed from the tour following his loss to Minoru Suzuki, who is now the new IWGP Intercontinental Champion. So Tanahashi versus Taichi will be in the opening round. Bad Luck Fale versus Lance Archer will take on the winner of Tanahashi versus Taichi. Then we move on to the right side of the bracket. We've got Yoshihashi going up against Kota Ibushi. Kota Ibushi, it's an interesting story. Kota Ibushi won the New Japan Cup a couple of years ago, earning him the right to challenge, actually it would have been a few years ago now, earning him the right to challenge AJ Styles. I want to say this is 2014. I'm sure something just popped up on the screen which gave you the correct year. So it's AJ Styles against Kota Ibushi for the championship because Ibushi won the New Japan Cup. And during the match, who should come out and distract Ibushi during the match by jumping up onto the apron, but Kenny Omega. Now, people who were watching at the time noticed Kenny Omega looked really conflicted while he was doing it, as if he had to cause the distraction because it was his role in Bullet Club to do so, but his friendship and former partnership with Kota Ibushi, well, made him feel really bad about doing it. So a little side note on the Golden Lovers reunion is that Kenny Omega did cost, or may have cost, Kota Ibushi a chance at winning the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, a title belt which neither member of the Golden Lovers has been able to win throughout their careers. Tetsuya Naito will take on Zack Sabre Jr. in the first round. So Zack Sabre Jr. making his New Japan Cup debut. And the 7th match to take place in the opening round is one of the most interesting, as it pits Toru Yano against the Killer Elite Squad's Davey Boy Smith Jr., so from Suzuki-gun. And if you go back to this summer, Davey Boy Smith Jr. posted, "Yeah, what a load of crap," in reference to a Toru Yano and Kenny Omega G1 match. And it was said later that Davey Boy Smith Jr. was upset he had not been included in the tournament. Kenny Omega offered the following reply to Davey Boy Smith Jr.'s comments. So now, however many months removed from the G1, for like 7, and Toru Yano is taking on Davey Boy Smith Jr. in the first round. So that could be an interesting match to watch. You might want to just watch that to see if it's a comedy match, and if so, how Davey Boy Smith Jr. performs in a comedy match, or if Toru Yano perhaps wants to remind Davey Boy Smith Jr. that he was a former competitor in Pancrase and a serious combat sports athlete at one time. Although Davey Boy Smith Jr., growing up in the Hart family, he knows his way around a submission hold. And then the 8th match, Chucky T is replacing an injured Beretta in the tournament. Beretta is out with a torn bicep and at least a torn bicep, possibly some other injuries. Chucky T will take on Sonata in the opening round. So that is your brackets for the New Japan Cup 2018. The tournament begins March 9th on New Japan World and will continue until the finals on March 21st. The winner will receive a title shot at against a champion of their choosing. New Japan World will air the entire tournament this year, though English commentary will be reserved for the first night of the opening round and then return for the quarterfinals, semis, and finals. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on any news or reports from New Japan Pro Wrestling or the New Japan Cup. I'm the Eye Guy from Spoiler Free Wrestling.